How did a supply clerk end up leading a rescue mission behind enemy lines? I was just Specialist Jake Miller running inventory and distributing MREs at a forward operating base in eastern Afghanistan. Never fired my weapon in combat. Never even left the wire on patrol until March 15th, 2010, when everything went sideways. Our recon team got ambushed during a routine patrol. 5 soldiers pinned down in a valley about 8 clicks from base. Radio contact was spotty, but we knew they were alive and surrounded. Captain Williams called for volunteers from available personnel. Problem was, we just sent 2 platoons on different missions. Base was running on skeleton crew, mostly support staff like me, a few mechanics, some admin clerks. I raised my hand anyway. Sir, I know that area. I've been making supply runs to the village nearby for 6 months. Know the terrain, the people, the safe routes. The captain looked skeptical. Miller, you're a supply clerk. This is combat rescue, not delivering toilet paper. But our regular squad leaders were already deployed. Options were limited. Staff Sergeant Parker, our senior NCO present, backed me up. Sir, Miller's right about knowing the area. Plus, he speaks decent Pashto. Been working with local contractors daily. That settled it. I suddenly found myself leading a 4-man rescue team. Me, 2 mechanics named Ryan and Alex, plus a medic called Tyler. None of us had combat leadership experience. We loaded up in a single Humvee. I grabbed my rarely used M4, extra ammo, and the GPS coordinates. My hands were shaking as I checked my gear. This wasn't supposed to be my job. The drive took 45 minutes through rough mountain passes I'd traveled dozens of times for supply deliveries. But this time felt completely different. Every shadow could hide an enemy fighter. We reached the last safe position about 2 clicks from the ambush site. Had to go on foot from there. I led the team along a goat path I'd used before when regular roads were blocked. That's when my supply experience became crucial. I knew which houses belonged to friendly locals, which routes avoided Taliban checkpoints, where to find cover and concealment. We moved slowly through the village. Old man Hassan, who ran the local shops, spotted us and waved us over. In broken English mixed with Pashto, he explained the situation. Taliban fighters had surrounded our guys in an old compound, maybe 15 insurgents. They were waiting for reinforcements before finishing the job. Our team had maybe an hour before being overrun. Hassan's son offered to guide us through back alleys to a position behind the compound. This kid was maybe 16, but he knew every stone in that village. We reached the compound's rear wall just as gunfire intensified from the front. Our trapped soldiers were running low on ammunition. Radio chatter confirmed they couldn't hold much longer. I made a decision that probably saved 5 lives. Instead of trying to fight through 15 Taliban fighters, we created a diversion. Ryan and Alex started shooting from one position while Tyler and I flanked around. The distraction worked perfectly. Taliban fighters turned to engage our diversion, thinking they were being attacked by a larger force. That gave our trapped team the opening they needed. Sergeant Davis, the team leader, later told me they'd given up hope. Heard our gunfire and thought it was Taliban reinforcements arriving. Instead, it was 4 support soldiers who'd never been in a real firefight. We extracted all 5 soldiers without losing anyone. Tyler patched up 2 wounded guys during the movement back to our vehicle. The whole rescue took 3 hours from start to finish. Back at base, Captain Williams called it the most successful rescue operation he'd seen in 2 years. Not because of tactics or firepower, but because we used local knowledge and relationships. 2 weeks later, I got promoted to sergeant ahead of schedule. Assignment to a combat unit as assistant team leader. Turned out supply clerks who knew the territory were more valuable than anyone expected. Hassan still sends me letters from Afghanistan. His son graduated high school last year and wants to join the Afghan National Army. The compound where we rescued those soldiers is now a small medical clinic. Last month, Sergeant Davis reached out through Facebook. He's a staff sergeant now, running training programs for National Guard units. His message was short: still owe you 5 lives, supply guy.